Few videos ago, we were taking a look at ChatGPT's usage for gaining investment insight, research, and analytics when the news came out that Bloomberg was releasing their own GPT. So then the obvious question is, what other chat programs can we use to try to test to see if chatbots can be used for investment help? Well, the bigger competitor to ChatGPT at the moment is the Bing Chat. What's interesting here is that there are three conversation styles to choose from: creative, balanced, and precise. So let's start with the more balanced and ask the same exact questions we asked of ChatGPT. First of all, we were asking compare SCHD and JEPI. Let's see what we get. All right, so it says both JEPI and SCHD are dividend-focused ETFs that are popular among dividend investors. According to an article by The Market Hustle, JEPI is more suited for those who want to minimize volatility in their portfolio over the long run and still earn consistent income. However, don't expect this fund to continue to outperform the stock market in the long run. SCHD is great for those who want a mixture of growth and dividend income, and it has a handy link here that we will explore in a second. According to another article by Seeking Alpha, SCHD buys and holds US dividend stocks, while JEPI has greater exposure to the market index versus SCHD. This is an interesting sentence. I wonder where they were pulling that from. It says Seeking Alpha, so let's open that up. JEPI has significantly lower energy exposure versus SCHD, and JEPI has more favorable financials positioning with minimal exposure to banks versus SCHD. And it cites more Seeking Alpha articles. All right, let's take a look at this first sentence here. SCHD is great for those who want a mix of share growth and dividend income. So, market hustle. Let's see. It's an article comparing JEPI and SCHD. Great. Pros and cons. Lower volatility. Consistent income. Yep. Dow Jones US 100 index. Not a lot of overlap. Let's check for that exact wording. Mix of share growth and dividend income. Share growth. Oh, yep. So here is where it's pulling that from. So interestingly, this is a useful tool or feature of this Bing AI ChatGPT or GPT-4 is that it does cite its sources. Let's ask it the second question. Compare Exxon dividends and Chevron dividends. All right, according to an article by The Motley Fool, there's a modest difference between the dividend yield front, with Exxon offering 5.6% and Chevron 5.2%. Let's check this source here from 2021. Ah, I see. So, although this information is out of date, at least their sources that they're citing from does show us that it is out of date, unlike ChatGPT, where it didn't cite its sources and also probably quoted from around 2021. And it also, unlike ChatGPT, does not have any weird claims of a cut during COVID. All right, well, that was fairly decent. It gave more or less correct answers, but more interestingly, it gave some interpretation of what each of these are for that ChatGPT really didn't get into. Let's see if we can go back and forth here and try the more creative version. There. To JP. All right, here we go. See, SCHD and JEPI are both dividend-focused ETFs that invest in U.S. companies, but they have different strategies and characteristics. According to search results, some main differences are SCHD is a passively managed ETF. Yes. JEPI is an actively managed ETF that invests in large cap and call options. Correct. SHD has a lower expense ratio compared to JEPI's. Yep, that is correct. Higher yield for JEPI, and JEPI pays dividends monthly while SHD pays quarterly. Correct. JEPI has a lower volatility. That is interesting. Let's see what they're quoting here. Market hustle. Volatility. Oh, it's the same article. Lower volatility than the S&P 500. Got it. I see. So what it might have done was it might have taken this sentence about JEPI having lower volatility than the S&P 500 and then remixed it into this sentence where it says it has a lower volatility than SCHD. Um, Overall, it looks like the creative output does provide more information and accurate information, but like this sentence here, a little bit questionable, but again, because they cite their sources, we can easily go into it and see where they're pulling this information from. Uh, Again, down here, which ETF is better depends on your investment goals, risk tolerance, and preferences, which is generally where most articles will stop. But then it continues. According to one article, both JEPI and SHD are solid funds to add to your portfolio if you want exposure to those companies and generate passive income. However, JEPI is more suited for those who want to minimize volatility in their portfolio over the long run and still earn consistent income. Therefore, don't expect this fund to continue to outperform the stock. So again, it's providing more of an analysis of the facts given. Let's compare Exxon to Chevron's dividends. Compare Exxon dividends to Chevron dividends. Ooh. Chevron dividends. Interestingly, I think if you scroll down, it just goes into the old Bing chat or Bing search. Right. Comparing Exxon dividends to Chevron dividends. Available information. XOM has a dividend yield of 3.11%. Dividend paid quarterly. X dividend date. Correct. Okay. So it looks like this first part one from this website, stock analysis. But interestingly, it's quoting that the next dividend will go on X on November 14th, 2022, where the current date is currently in April 2023. So again, a little bit of a mixing up of information here. Perhaps you're reading the X dividend dates from down here as opposed to up here. So perhaps it was indexed when this was the latest line that was saved, but the current website shows new X dividend date of Feb 13th. So again, mostly correct information, some outdated information, but because of the links, it's much easier to verify what the correct information is compared to ChatGPT. And it also provides some level of analysis for these facts, and instead of just giving the facts to you. So in all, I would say that Bing AI powered by GPT-4 is much more useful of a tool than ChatGPT at the moment, although because it consistently gives some outdated information, probably best to go into the individual links provided to make sure what they're saying is correct. In any case, hope this was helpful as usual, and for all your dividend investing needs, check out Div Income, available on iOS and Android.